Hey folks, on the water today with my buddy Chuck Earls. You want to tell us where we're at, what we're doing?
Well, we're out here at McGee Campground, McGee East, in the Western Basin of Lake Erie. We're gonna go out here. We're gonna do some pre-fishing for the Lake Erie Walleye Trail, the first qualifying tournament that starts next Saturday. Most importantly, pre-fish for the loot, so that I can get out here and compete in a kayak against all the boaters. See you out there.
So I'm using, in order to get to where we want to go out here, I'm using the Go-To feature. I went to the full screen and I dropped a waypoint out there. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. I dropped a waypoint where I wanted to get. We started here, we're about halfway, and it's just a really good way to save a lot of your battery and energy on the torpedo, is to run in straight lines. When you have a destination, and you can kind of see as we zoom in, it gives you the center line, and then it gives you the left and the right, and if you can see I kind of wandered close to this left guideline, and you know, if you cross it, it'll beep at you and say, oh, you're off course. But using the Go-To function of these, of your depth finder, really can save you a good bit of power and really extend your range. Right now, the range I've got with this battery, let's see if you can see that, 74%. I'm traveling at 4.2 miles per hour using 276 watts, and I have 9.4 miles of range. And I don't think we have more than, like, I don't know, 2 miles or so to go. And, you know, we got plenty of range to get out there and get back. And we know it because it's right here. We can really keep tabs on it and use the right amount of power for what we want to do in the day. Hey folks, had a fun day out here on the western basin of Lake Erie with my buddy Chuck Earls, and one of the things that allowed us to cover all the distance we did, we're actually just shy of 22 miles on the day, and I'm down to about 23% of the battery on the Torqeedo, is something I'm going to show you on the Humminbird here, on my chart. It's the Go-To function, and not everyone uses this at all. If you do use it, it's a really good tool to make sure that you make the most of your time by going to your destinations. And in our case, we were heading out to different reefs that we wanted to check out and see if there were any walleye on there. We really went, you know, between 3 different reefs out here, and then came back in close to shore to find that warmer water as the wind started pushing things in. And I'm getting ready to use that Go-To function again because we're wrapping up our day here, and I want to get back to the little, well, the opening for the marina where we launched out of. So let me show you what that looks like here. So I have this try screen here. I'm going to change to the full screen, and I'm going to come back out of there, and you can kind of see a couple of those times where I used the Go-To function. We ran across this deep water from there to there. We came back here in a straight shot, and really what that does, when you have the wind coming across and it's trying to blow you off course, instead of, you know, being blown off course and going way out here and basically adding mileage to your day, it allows you to keep a straight track to the destination. So right now I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to make a straight shot right across here to the opening. So the way that you do that is you go to this cursor here, and you can see I'm just kind of moving it along to where I get to that point. I want to go a little bit north because it looks like there's, yeah, Okay, and at that point, I'm gonna just go ahead and mark a waypoint. This button right here, mark. And from there, and there's a couple different ways you can do it. I'm just showing you the way that I do. The word waypoint is highlighted, and I scroll to the right, and then I'll hit menu, and then I will scroll down. Actually, I'm scrolling to the right rather. And that brings up a new menu, and I scroll down and it says go to, and then I scroll right, and then it says navigation started towards waypoint, whatever it was that I just created. So I will exit out of there twice, and then I can use whatever screen I have that shows the chart, but this is my straight shot, and what it does, I'm gonna zoom in and exit to get back to where I'm at. It creates, and I'm gonna start my navigation with the Torqeedo, start moving, and basically, as I move, it gives me this, this black line in the middle. The black line in the middle is the path that it wants you to take. But if you move too far to the left or the right, it'll sound a little bit of an alarm. So that just is an auditory way of telling you, hey, you've strayed off course if you're not paying attention, or if the wind is blowing you to the side and you didn't notice. Having that auditory alarm just to say, hey, stay on the straight line. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. This is creating the straight line that guides you across it. As we get closer, I'll go ahead and show you, what it looks like. I may actually just stray off course just to show you the off-course alarm. And, usually when you get close enough to it, it'll send another alarm that says, destination, you've arrived. So this isn't how I fish, it's how I get from one spot to the other, from one fishing location to another that I've identified. And in this case out here in Lake Erie is just different reefs that we wanted to check out. So I'm doing this intentionally to show you really what it does when you get that off-course alarm. And I'm going to go ahead and correct that by steering with the foot control steering, get back to the path that looks like Chuck is already on. As soon as I cross back over, it'll shut up. There it goes, back to normal, back in bounds. All right, we are closing in on the destination. I've done a good job staying within my lines, and I think once I pull within that little circle, it'll give me a little notification that I've arrived. Let me push through a little bit more and punch across that finish line and see what that looks like. So running in straight lines and being efficient with your power there, arrival alarm, is really only part of the reason why getting familiar with your go-to function is critical. The other part really has to do with safety. And if you bite off more than you can chew, and you're out here in big water like this, and you actually go, out further than you meant to, and you're coming back in, and it's dark, it's tough. If there isn't a marker buoy, if there isn't a lighthouse, or there isn't something to tell you, hey, this is where you're headed. Having the go-to function can really save you. It has saved me out on the Chesapeake Bay. I say saved me, but really made it so, I got in when I needed to get in, or at least as quick as I possibly could. So The other part of that is making sure that you have plenty of power. And I do have there's a 23 amp hour Dakota Lithium battery in that waterproof case that powers this unit. And you know, it does you no good if you get to a certain point and you know, you have your go-to function working and then your battery dies. So always get more battery than you think you need. That way, you know, you're gonna, you know, be able to use that go-to function if you're out past dark and you really need it to make sure you get to where you need to be. So hopefully that helps you be safe out there on big water and really make the most of your power, whether it's a Torqeedo electric outboard, your legs on a pedal drive, or your whole torso using the paddle. See ya.